Oh, it's so great to have you all here. I'm so excited. So let's get right to it. I'm going to talk about 3 things that really a lot of my clients experience. I'll get right to it. You'll be able to use these in your dating life and your relationship life. Now, all of you tuning in right now, I have a very important announcement. May 4th, I'm going to be having a live class. So you can sign up for this live class. If it's past May 4th, hi from Paris, if it's past May 4th when you're seeing this video in a later replay, I'll have a link below to the class that I'm teaching, which is called Femme Tools. Femme Tools is about using tools called Feminine Energy Mindset Method. And what these tools do is they get you back into your body, back into your feeling body, so you can experience the best life you possibly can and the best relationship life you can. So this is a dating class. Of course, if you're in a relationship, you can take it, but I'm specifically going to be talking about dating tools. There will be a marriage class at a different time. So again, this is not to control the man, manipulate him. This is an invitation for him to pursue you, okay? All right, so let's get right to it. This is going to give you some tips that basically, again, activate that pursuit. Number 1 problem I hear from women who are dating or even sometimes in a relationship where you're not living together yet, you're not married. But even if you're married, even if you're in a relationship, you can find a way to apply this to your life. And that is a man tells them, let's get together this weekend. And it's Wednesday, it's Thursday, it's Friday, you haven't heard from him. And you're kind of keeping your weekend open because you're hoping to see this guy you really like, okay? And girls it never fails. I get an email about once a week where someone says, I haven't heard from this guy, should I go ahead and reach out? And I had a man like this in my life who would say, let's get together Wednesday night. And I'd go, okay, great. And then Wednesday would come, and by 7 o'clock, I would reach out to him and I'd say, what's going on? And he'd go, oh my goodness, I had to do all this stuff with my house. Never bothered to let me know. So of course, later on in life, I discovered feminine energy. It's very rude. I discovered feminine energy. I discovered how all of this can work for the woman. And it helps you not accept crumbs from men. So as long as you're pursuing the man and you're doing the work for him, you're eating up crumbs. The more crumbs you eat up, the more weak you become, the less desirable you become in that man's eyes because you're not a high quality woman. Now, real quick, I'll tell you that sometime later after I broke up with this guy, he said, is it because I could never keep my plans with you? And you know what I did? I didn't even answer him back because he knew. He knew, and it was just really about him having that awakening. So let me tell you what I want you to do if a man has said, let's get together, and then he doesn't call you, doesn't reach out. And again, you can apply this even if your husband or your partner has said something that he's not following through with, okay? And you want to check in and say, well, are we still doing this? Is this still going on? So I have about a 24-hour rule for myself, but whatever you have, that's always about you. You have to find what works for you. But let's say the guy said, I'll call you this weekend. That could mean Friday night. That could mean Saturday. It could mean Sunday, right? So number 1 is, and I have this in my book, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. I'll hit you up this weekend. Let's get together this weekend. That would feel amazing. You're being warm. Oh, I feel so excited. Oh, I would feel really great to see you again. You're warm. You're having that feeling statement. What day and time were you thinking? Boundary. Okay, so number 1, warmth. Number 2, boundary. I would feel really amazing. Oh, I feel so excited to see you again next weekend. What day and time were you thinking? And the guy goes, I don't know. It's Monday. I have no idea, you see. And you tell him, say, well, okay, I keep my schedule really full. And I look really forward to hearing from you, and hopefully we can pin something down. It'll feel really good to pin something down. But you're basically letting him know, oh, okay. I keep my schedule really full. I'm a busy girl. I like to plan my weekends out in advance, whatever feels right to you. And it'll feel really good to pin something down. If you haven't heard from him 24 hours prior to that day, you go and make other plans. You don't message him. You don't reach out to him. You don't call him and say, are we still getting together? Don't do it. Don't do it. Go make other plans. So when he does call you up and you're on the way out the door to go be with your girlfriends, then he calls you and he says, hey, I was thinking about picking you up tonight. And then you let him know, oh my goodness, I'm so disappointed. I already made plans. I didn't hear from you, yesterday. So I don't know, I wanted to do my own thing. You have forewarned him, and now he's meeting the consequences of you enforcing that boundary. Because remember, if you don't enforce the boundary, you're as good as eating crumbs. The more crumbs you eat, the less value he sees anyway. He might get a little mad. He might get a little mad that you're not at home waiting around for him. Sure. That's part of the process. That's part of getting a man to obsess and think about you and pursue you. You are that small percent of women out there who are not just waiting around and letting the man run the show. You are setting the pacing for your own wonderful, amazing, beautiful life. Now, if you like this tip, check out my class. The link is going to be below. It's at everheartcoaching.com/Femme Tools. It's happening May 4th. If this video is happening after May 4th, you can click on the link and learn about it. It's a great class. It's going to be all day with me. It's a one-day retreat with me. All right, so let's move on. Let's say your guy is in a mood. I get this one a lot. I have an emotional husband. I'm not going to lie. He's emotional. And he's just very intense with what he feels about things. And a lot of times it takes just observing that person and just letting them have that moment. And that's really what we want men to do with us in a lot of ways. Except we like it when a man offers us a hug or gives us, maybe a little pep talk, or he's sweet. Heaven forbid he try to fix it, which is what most men do. But I'm going to give you both sides of the coin here. The man has a mood. He's like, oh, my job, or oh, I had a flat tire, or he's just acting pissy for some reason. You don't even know why. Or everything's going great one afternoon, and then all of a sudden his mood changes to pissy or upset, or he slams something down and acts like a guy, okay? So sometimes men have to exercise that moment of acting like a man. Do I think this gets them a little closer to their monkey brain? Absolutely. I don't approve of it. I don't want to act that way. I don't want people around me acting that way. But a man is a man, and sometimes he has to do what men so often do, which is behave like men. Now, if you can go out there and find a man who never pulls this crap on you, go do it. But the truth is, they're out there, and most of them have this in them. Even the most composed, intelligent, he meditates every day type of guy, they have it in them. Don't be fooled, don't be tricked. All men will behave like men. You know this. I'm being very real with you. You know this. You know how your dad could act. You know how your boyfriend could act. You know how your husband can act. They do it. So how do we deal with this in a way that makes them obsess, love us, miss us, want to claim us, and pursue us? How do we deal with this in that moment? My very best advice to you with this is ignore his mood, make an excuse, go do something else. So if my husband kind of goes into some sort of little mood, instead of being like, what is it that you need? What's wrong? What's going on? What happened? Don't do it. That's feminine energy. I mean, you're wanting feminine energy out of him. Hi from Norway. So you're trying to get him in touch with his feelings and stuff, and it's going to irritate them. And then you're also working. You're working like a boy to fix the problem. Make an excuse, go do something else. Kind of notice it, kind of acknowledge it. And then, you know what? I am getting a leg cramp. I have got to go do some stretches. And you leave the room, you go do your stretches, you go walk the dog, go weed your garden, go brush your hair 100 strokes, whatever it takes. Make an excuse, go do something else. Let him fix it. When you turn your back and you walk away, there is this energy that happens where he will immediately want to pursue you. But you're not having the problem. You're not having it with the problem, you see? So you're giving him that time and space I'm always talking about for him to solve that problem. So make an excuse, go do something else. Best way you can do it. Now, if you are trapped in a car with a man, or if this is just something you want to try sometime, you're at dinner. Remember, this isn't supposed to be manipulative or controlling. But if you want to experiment with this one, if you want to practice it, even when there's no problem at all, there is a little trick I'm going to teach you with your body language that I will, with 100% absolutely, I guarantee, the man will respond to this every single time. I don't care how old, how young, the man will respond. So listen up. Let's say you're trapped in a car with a guy, and by trapped, I mean you can't go, oh, I got to go, water my plants, and you can't get away. Or if you just want to experiment with this. If he's driving, you're in the passenger side, I want you to turn your body away from him, fold your legs in the other direction of him. Take your hands, go over here on this side of the car armrest. Don't make it, a movement you do all at once. Just very slowly shift your toes that way, away from him. So you're actually tilting your energy away from him. So sometimes, I don't know why I do it, but I hold on to the little, I think it's called the oh heck bar or whatever. I hold on to that and I put my other hand on the window to look. I like to look at the plants and the trees and all these things, or just binge watch as we're driving down the highway. I don't know. And I found myself doing this years ago, and my husband would put his hand on my leg and go, honey, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing. Nothing's wrong. But what a great opportunity for him to lean in towards me, you see? So when you're with your guy, practice this a little bit. You're sitting on the couch with him. Go ahead and turn your energy away from him a little bit. Give him a break. It works like magic, ladies. Do it tonight. Come back, write in the comments what happened to you. Okay? So someone asked a good question. She said, aren't we supposed to let them vent and us listen? Not really. I have about a 3-minute, that's where I expire and turn into a pumpkin. If my guy starts talking about something and it's important and he's not berating me, okay, in any sort of way, like you did this wrong, you did that wrong, I'll listen to it for about 3 minutes. But you don't want to allow someone to rage on you or continue to berate you in some way. You can just say, you know what, I've heard enough of this. I'm listening. I feel scared, this intensity that we're speaking. I'm going to take a little break. And if you want to talk when it's not so intense, I will. So you excuse yourself very calmly. Let him know why you're excusing yourself, and let him know that I'm available if you want to talk again. So that's how you would handle that. When a guy is venting and you're going to give him that 3 minutes or 2 minutes or 1 minute or whatever your limit is, you look him right in the eyes and you listen and you nod and I talk about this in 500 ways sorry, I talk about this in the ABCs to get him back. I talk about it in 500 ways too, but in the ABCs to get him back, I talk about when you're getting back together with that man, at some point in time, he's going to give you what for. And he's going to give you what for about everything you've ever done wrong in the relationship. And this is the one time he gets to do it. He doesn't get to punish you every day for the rest of the relationship for something you did wrong. You let him have that one time. So I talk about that, this move, which is you look him in the eyes very seriously. You're letting him be the big man right now. And you look at him and you, and you just listen to every word. Now, at any point, if that changes over into berating you or raging on you, yelling at you, screaming at you, that's when you go back to, I'm feeling really scared right now with voices this loud. And I'm going to take a walk around the block, or I'm just going to go sit in my room and read for a little bit. You see what I'm saying? And you take that break and you give him that time and space as a man to figure it out. Because in my heart, I don't believe men really want to act this way to women. I think they love us. They know they need us. They're just having this moment. And I'm very empathetic to the world that men are in versus the world we're in. Believe me, it's not all sunshine and roses what the world we're in. I think men in a lot of ways have it much more difficult on other levels that don't allow them to emotionally regulate the world that they're in. Whereas women, how many women are in here right now figuring out their problems, working out their emotions, and doing the work and effort to make their lives better emotionally? You don't see men doing this so much. So it's just a different world. So that's my empathy for that. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about that mood thing, and then I'm going to take a couple of questions from you all before I go. I hope you, if any of you can attend my May 4th class, it's going to be great. It's an all-day class. It's a private video link, and you'll be sent the link after the class, and I give you a load of free bonuses, a ton, a whole little web page filled up of goodies just for you when you attend this class. So I talked about when we're in a mood and he's in a mood. So if he's in a mood, if we go to him and we go, what's the problem? What's going on? How can I help you? That's actually what we want a guy to do for us, okay? Oh, you're welcome, Coco. That's what we want a guy to do for us. So when we're in a mood and we're hurt and we're sad, sometimes the guy will come in and go, baby, what's the matter? What's going on? And they'll want to try to solve it, or they'll give us some advice. And we're just like hating the advice and we get mad at them. So go ahead and let them give you that advice and really receive it because they're trying to help you the best they can. They're trying to solve the problem. And that's when you say, I really need a hug. Ask for a hug. Because a lot of times, like with my husband, if something's going on with me, or I'm experiencing something, whether it's physical pain or I'm having a particularly emotional day or whatever, and I go to him and I talk to him, he'll just keep on making the salad for dinner and just looking at me as I talk. And there's a part of me that's like, why don't you come over here and like hug me right now? Or something like that. They don't work on that level. They're not sure what to do with us sometimes. So there's nothing wrong with just saying, I really need a hug, and and go ahead and get that hug. And when you get that hug, melt into him like you're just a piece of chocolate on the dashboard of your car on a 110 degree day. You just melt right into his body and transfer all of that sad, helpless, limited, whatever that energy is, transfer it to him. An amazing thing will happen when you do that. When you're on your computer and you drag and drop this stuff over to the trash can and then it's gone, that's how it feels. You just take all of that energy, you drop it into the guy, and he will stand up taller to support you, and you'll feel better. So try that one too. All right, any quick questions before I sign off? Again, my class is May 4th. The link is going to be below as soon as this video ends. Oh, Lumi said all the things that she was doing in her last relationship were wrong, and she's so grateful. The man leads the way, don't they? Especially if a man really breaks our heart, they help us realize we need to do something for ourselves. How do I inspire him to be more masculine in a long-term relationship? I'm already in a 4-year relationship. So how do you inspire him to be more masculine? You have to stop doing the work for him. And start small. Start when he comes home from work. Don't be right at the door to greet him. Let him find you in the house. Let him find you wherever you are, and be warm and receive. See how often you're not receiving from him. Start there and get 500 ways to talk to a man. If you don't have that ebook already, that will teach you how to get in touch with the feelings in your body so you can speak them to the man. Remember, the body is what the man hears from us. He doesn't hear logic and this makes sense and don't you understand what I'm trying to say to you. He has your feeling. He can absorb your feelings and interpret those into action. I hope I said that right. How do you deal with anxiety after a breakup? Oh, Nicole, how long has it been since the breakup? The reason I ask is, in all honesty, you can't rush it. There are some tricks and some things you can do, and I teach you in the ABCs to get him back. There are some things you can do to expedite it, but it's going to come in waves. It's grief. It's going to make you feel so anxious. It's been 3 months. So the first couple of weeks, you really go through this phase where I personally needed a sleep aid to sleep, and during the day, I felt very nervous and my head was always with thoughts of that person. And there are some things you can do to stay busy. Nicole, dating is one of the best things you can do. If you don't have the ABCs to get him back, go check it out. It's on my website. I give you a lot of things that you can start doing for your life so you can peel your energy off that man, because otherwise you're telling the universe, this is who I want. I want a man who's not available for me right now. And I'm sorry you're going through that. I'm so sorry. How do you encourage, Leona says, how do you encourage him to get a job and be a provider? Anytime he does something around the house that's a job, let him know it feels good. If he is really being a deadbeat and not participating, this is where you have to put on your boy pants and you have to say, we need to sit down and talk. I want to have a meeting. Sit down, take it very seriously, have your binder, have your pen and paper ready, and say, you know, these are the bills, this is how much money I'm making, and it would feel really good to have you contributing. And I love, is there something I should know? And then you got to zip it or shut up and let him talk. I mean, look at a clock and give him 10 minutes of silence until he talks. He might be really down on himself and upset that he can't get a job. And you might go to a new level with your relationship when he opens up and tells you about that. He might even break down in tears about it. Joy said, do men ever get tired of pursuing, like initiating everything? What if they express that they are? Make sure that this is not a power struggle, is my first instinct. Make sure that you're not like, well, Adrienne Everheart says make him do, initiate everything, and I'm just not going to do anything ever again. Make sure it's not a power struggle. Make sure that you're keeping your side of the yard clean, as I say. Keep your side of the yard. You're doing as much as you can for yourself. So I try my best to bother my husband with very little. And I do most things for myself. And then if there are things that I don't want to do, I just absolutely don't want to do or I can't do, then I'll solicit his help. So I hope I'm on the same page with you with that one. Okay, last one from Sharon. I've done everything wrong from communicate to being in my masculine energy. Where do I start? I have 500 ways, but I'm not sure how to make things right. So again, 500 ways isn't a cure-all. I wish it was, but this stuff takes so much repetition. I think I've told you all I've gone through 5 coaches in my career before I was becoming a coach. It takes a lot of repetition. It takes a lot of hearing this stuff over and over and from different resources. So don't be afraid to look into other resources. I have a lot of programs out there. 500 Ways will help you. ABCs to get them back. It does help you get over a breakup, but it's not just for breakups. It'll help you in a lot of other ways. Last question. This is just kind of fun here. And Namika says, any quick tips for getting back in your feminine energy when you're having a hard time getting out of your masculine energy? I keep forgetting to stay in my feminine energy when I'm around a guy I like. So you want to make it so you're always in your body, even when you're in your masculine energy. So instead of being like, I'm in my masculine, I'm in my feminine, I'm in my masculine, I'm in my feminine, I want you to instead just be in your body. Start to notice first how fast you're breathing. And if you're breathing really fast, it's likely you're in this forward doing motion. You're in your masculine energy. And slow down your breathing. Slow down your breathing. There are apps for your phone now that'll chime every once in a while to remind you to just slow down. So everyone watching this video, just slow down. Inhale through your nose really slowly. Exhale really slowly. One more. Inhale really slowly. Exhale, slow. So you can see just slowing down your breathing gets you more into your body, gets you back into the feminine. So even if you're at work, you're in masculine energy, figure out what you're feeling in your body. And then when you get home from work, I have used something like a bracelet from my right wrist, which is my masculine side, to my left side. And I had one particular bracelet that it would always kind of catch the hair on my arm. But it was actually a good reminder, because every time I felt a little, something happening on my arm, I would go, what am I doing right now this second? And a lot of times I'd catch myself, I was leaning in. So I don't really recommend that way, but switching a bracelet will help you, or setting a timer, or every 30 minutes, just check in with yourself. You begin to observe yourself and see what energy you're in around your partner. See how often you are controlling the outcome around your guy, making a suggestion, offering to do something, or just interrupting his say, all right? And what I mean by interrupting his say, he goes, well, I think we need to go do this and this. And you go, but what about this and this and this? Learn how to say it in a different way. Like, oh, I feel rushed doing it that way. I'm going to feel rushed. And he'll go, well, what? What can we do? He'll go to solve it. So when you learn to speak from your body, that's what 500 Ways teaches you to do, as does all my programs. I wish there was just one that did it all, but it takes a lot of repetition. All right, you guys have been amazing. Some brilliant, brilliant questions. Thank you all for joining. Please do take a moment and give me a thumbs up and share this video with your girlfriends if you have enjoyed the content. And if I didn't get to your questions during this video, please write them in the comments section. I love to answer your questions. I try to answer them all. And if you want to attend my class, it's happening May 4th. It's going to be a whole day with me. Tons of bonuses, lots of extra stuff. It's the best deal on the internet, I'm pretty sure. Oh, much love to y'all too. I'm so happy to be here with you. And I look forward to seeing you in class, hopefully. I'll be with you all day.